a fountain. A bouquet of flowers dangled in her hand, the petals brushing the cobblestones beneath her feet. "Buongiorno," she said, raising her free hand. "Buongiorno." I raised my hand too. As she walked closer, I let my eyes drift from her waist-length dark hair to her warm brown eyes, her pretty neck, her narrow waist, and her long legs. I tried to keep my eyes from lingering too long on the way her boobs strained the fabric of her dress, or on how the pale blue of it made her smooth skin appear the colour of honey. "You like to look," she said, standing less than a foot from me. "From windows, as I walk toward you. It's hard not to. You're very beautiful." Her eyes scrunched, and she cocked her head. "Beautiful? Is there something wrong with being beautiful?" She shrugged her shoulders. "There is more to see in a woman than her beauty." "I agree." She smiled. "Tell me what else you see." "You like to laugh." "See." "You're romantic." She raised a brow. I looked her up and down a second time, which didn't appear to bother her. "Your dress. The way you carry your flowers as though you've almost forgotten they're in your hand, because your mind is in the clouds instead." She came closer and leaned against the car. The scent of her overwhelmed me. "And you smell bloody fantastic." She bent at the waist and laughed just like she had the first time I saw her walking in the field. I loved the sound of it. "Oh, good. Miles, I'm so happy you finally met Pierre," I heard my mum say. She thrust the bags of bread, vegetables, and other purchases into my arms, and then cheek-kissed the woman next to me. "I've heard much about you, Milos," Pierre said, using the Italian version of my name while brushing her shoulder against mine. I couldn't help but glare in my mother's direction. "All good, Miles?" she said, taking one of the bags from my arms and tossing it in the car through the open window. "We're just heading back. Can we give you a lift, Pierre?" "Grazie, but I have a few more errands in the village." "We could wait," I blurted at the same moment a guy approached, put his arm around Pierre's waist, and leaned into her. "Ti stavo cercando, bella." "I haven't been hiding, Paolo." "Andiamo." He grabbed the hand that held her flowers. "Arrivederci, Signora Stone. Milos." "Well, that was rude." My mum huffed and grabbed the rest of her purchases from my arms and then put them in the car through the window like she had the other. I watched as Pierre walked away with Paolo, realizing now he was the same guy I saw her with from my window, the one who'd flipped me off. I was bothered less by his rudeness than the idea the arsehole was her boyfriend. My mum prattled on all the while I drove back to the farmhouse. I learned that Pierre, who was my age, was the only daughter of Giovanni Deltetto and his wife, Countess Maria. She had no idea why Pierre's mother was a countess and her father wasn't a count, nor did she know who Count Valentini was, other than that the estate named for him had been in their family for several generations. Later, as we sat on the terrazza, having just finished another brilliant dinner prepared by my mum, who'd embraced Mediterranean cuisine in a way she never had with traditional English fare, we heard loud voices coming from the direction of the hilltop villa. "Oh dear," she muttered, getting up to clear the dishes and take them inside. My father joined her, but I didn't. I walked down the steps to the lawn and looked toward the sound of the voices. I couldn't make out the exact words, but I could tell that a male and female were in a heated argument. I wasn't certain the female voice was Pierre's, but it sounded like it could be. When the shouting died down, I went inside, where I found my parents sitting at the table in the kitchen. "Everything all right?" "Your mum finds this somewhat disconcerting." I nodded, wondering, not for the first time, what they were thinking when they decided to rent a place in Italy for an entire summer holiday. I mean, what had they expected? The following week, when my mother appeared recovered from the excitement of a few days prior, I volunteered to take her into the village. I suppose part of me hoped to run into Pierre again, given I hadn't seen her since the day we met. Rather than waiting at the car...